Ask most JRPG fans about the Xeno series and they'll primarily bring up two games, Xenogears on the PS1 and Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii. However, nestled between these two masterpieces is a forgotten series of games that if you tally it up and its spin-offs, actually makes up the largest percentage of games in the Xeno series. I'm of course talking about the Xenosaga Trilogy, a forgotten trio of RPGs from the PS2 era. While maybe not as good as some of the other JRPGs of the 6th console generation, I've created a list of 5 areas where this trilogy of RPGs excels over other JRPGs, even to this day. Number 1. An adult cast. Fed up with watching teenagers save the world from a dragon, demon, Hitler? It can get annoying with the number of 18-year-old protagonists in JRPGs. Hell, Xeno's own Faye and Shulk are 18. Luckily, Xenosaga is a break from this trend, with most of the cast being in their 20s and older, and the only ones younger than this are androids, so it doesn't exactly count. This helps break Xenosaga away from some generic plot points in other JRPGs, with characters acting more like adults, having a more mature story over some of the more immature moments found in other JRPGs. Speaking of the cast, number 2, a strong female lead. While having a female lead character is nothing new to the video game scene, few I have played have done as good a job as Xenosaga. Previous female video game protagonists such as Samus Aran and Lara Croft have taken on very masculine personalities, being buff gung-ho fighters and not very female-like at all. While there is no problem to characters like this, I personally would like to see a female lead who feels more like a woman, and enter Xenosaga. Shionozuki is one of my favourite video game protagonists for this very reason stated above. She is a scientist who uses her brains to fight over muscle, and unlike other female protagonists, she isn't turned into a man to be one. Instead, she is a complex character who still suffers to overcome her grief of losing her fiancé. This story arc comes into a brilliant conclusion in the final act of episode 3, which is one of my favourite Xeno series moments, which I won't spoil here. Continuing with the characters, number 3, amazing villains. If I ever did a list of the best villains in the Xeno series, I'd probably fill it with Xenosaga villains. From the Testaments to Utic, we get a plethora of amazing villains with deep backstories explaining their reasons for why they've lost faith in humanity and now commit the atrocities that they do. Whether it's Albedo's destructive suffering from the fact that he can't die to Yuriev's attempt to overcome his fear of God by literally trying to kill God, most JRPGs can only deliver one standout villain, while pretty much all of Xenosaga's villains are exceptional, especially since you can see a lot of them develop over the 3 games in the series. Speaking of the trilogy, number 4, a multi-part story. Unlike other JRPGs, the Xeno games are direct sequels to one another. While some might find this annoying since it requires you to play all 3 games in order, others might like the ability to follow their favourite characters through the multiple games to see how they develop. One of the main reasons Xenosaga 3 is so good in my opinion is due to the world and character building from the previous 2 games finally coming to a close in the 3rd game's finale. Continuing on with the story, number 5, a unique and deep plot. Generic is the last word I would use to describe the Xenosaga Trilogy's story. Based on some heavy philosophical material from Friedrich Wilhelm Nietzsche, the trilogy is one mind twist of a story around actual philosophical ideas, such as the multi-planes of existence, the chaos death of the universe, and the finding of your own truth. I want to get round to playing the trilogy again so I can just understand some of the themes it tries to convey over the 3 games. So that's my 5 reasons why you should try out the Xenosaga Trilogy on the PS2. The first 2 games are pretty easy to find on sites like eBay for only 10 to 30 USD. However, getting the 3rd game can be a bit more challenging due to its poor sales, and it costs more in the order of 60 to 100 USD. I also recognise my fellow people in the PAL region will have a difficult time since Episode 2 was the only officially released game in the series. And with that, I hope to see you for my next video. Just to quickly add on to the end of the video, I have actually heard the news about the Bandai Namco refiling the trademark for Xenosaga 3, also spelled Zarathustra. So there might actually be soon another option on how to play, which will probably be a lot cheaper than buying Xenosaga 3 currently.